FTR may have returned at AEW Revolution, but that does not mean they have signed a new deal. In fact, it has been confirmed to be the opposite. FTR will be leaving AEW within 1 month and 18 days if Tony Khan cannot convince them to sign a new deal, and on the strength of what Dax Harwood has been saying on his podcast, Tony Khan has not been able to do that. So, to read out, zero has changed. This is according to Harwood on his podcast, let's put it that way. We got a call from Tony, and this was maybe 5 days before the pay-per-view. Maybe, could have been 4 days before the pay-per-view. For those who watch Spoiler Warning, you will be aware that I started talking the day before the pay-per-view about FTR being in contact with Tony Khan, with promises being made to FTR, one of which, as an idea, involved them winning the AEW Tag Team Championships in an effort to convince them to sign a new deal and stay with the company. To quote Dax Harwood, I don't know, and I'm just guessing that he either heard a clip, listen to the podcast, that being the podcast he's on, or read one of the headlines where I said we were ready to come back, our bodies were healed, we were just waiting for the call, we wanted to do what was right by the business because we were contracted through April. I can confirm that at this point in time, no new deal has been signed, and as of April, FTR will become free agents. As I've said before, there is huge interest from the WWE. However, they would not be able to debut in time for WrestleMania, being that they would be still under contract with AEW at that time. They are currently weighing up their options. At Royal Quest in October, Dax Harwood was very vocal about the fact that all they wanted was for Tony Khan to use them. They were available, they were fighting fit, they were putting on great matches, as in fact they did during that event, but they were not being used by Tony Khan. There has definitely been contact by Triple H and representatives of the WWE assuring them that there will be a place for them in the WWE should they want to come back, and the interest is clearly there. Focusing once again on the podcast, Dax Harwood said, our choice right now is strictly on happiness, that's all. The pros of staying in AEW is a great schedule where I can come home and be with my family. The pros of WWE is they are the number one, at least and for the foreseeable future too. They are the number one money-making professional wrestling company in the world, and momentarily they could offer us a great deal too. Monetarily, they could offer us a great deal too. To be blunt, they know that because WWE has been in contact. This particular wording may be reason for Tony Khan to be concerned, or at least to start talking lawsuits again. Another pro for AEW is, unless Tony changes his mind come April, we will be able to do independent bookings, great relationship with New Japan where we can go. The WWE is actively, at this point in time, attempting to further relations with New Japan. Beyond the Carl Anderson situation, this would also, curiously enough, give them access to Mercedes money as someone who could potentially wrestle in WWE. That would be a debut and a half. FTR, as it were, wrestle a lot for different companies and win a lot of different tag team championships. If they were in WWE, they would be extremely limited to that one company, but the WWE, as I say, are actively trying to create a better schedule for their wrestlers and better opportunities. We saw this with Shinsuke Nakamura going to Japan and wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah. We saw this with Carl Anderson, as aforementioned, and there is a lot of interest in more of that going forwards. The Forbidden Door, as the AEW branding was, is long gone. Returning to the podcast, Dax Harwood says doing New Japan, doing the independents, going out and being able to do Comic-Cons and things and meeting some of our fans, those are the pros in AEW. WWE, they are on a creative high right now, and I think that they could be able to keep that creative high up. Nothing has changed, and please allow everything to play out because come April, you'll be able to understand what we're doing and where we are going. Now that last part, if you'll allow me to speculate for a moment, certainly suggests to me that they know exactly what the plan is, and it would be very surprising to me if they knew what the plan was but hadn't signed new AEW contracts if the plan was to stay in AEW. They would not leave those contracts for the last second. But this certainly does fly in the face of the opinions of PW Insider, Wrestling Observer, who believe that new deals had been signed. If this is a work and Dax Harwood is essentially telling us all of this as a flat-out lie, I'm very surprised by some of the wording used. For example, mentioning that WWE are on a creative high right now sort of suggests that AEW are not. Mentioning monetarily WWE could offer them a great deal too certainly suggests that right now AEW cannot. So this does tell us a lot about where AEW's priorities are, what WWE can offer, and what Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler are really looking for. The WWE have been interested in a return for the revival, as they were in WWE and as they would be again, since Triple H took over. In fact, since before Triple H took over, Vince McMahon actually genuinely regretted this one. FTR have been able to stay clear of injury, and this was the main reason they were let go previously by the company. Triple H is willing to move hell or high water for this one, and come April, my expectation is that we will be seeing Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler in the WWE once again.